Chapter 16. Who told you there was someone Elliot liked? Where did you get the information? Do you know what her name is? Chelsea was beginning to feel uneasy despite being adamant that Elliot had no other woman besides her. Avery shook her head and said, "What I said was just my opinion. I don't know Elliot as well as you do." Avery changed her stance after calming down a little. She realized that things were not as simple as they seemed, and she did not want to be dragged in. She just wanted to give birth to her babies and live an average life. "You scared me. I thought you saw him with a woman." Chelsea relaxed after hearing Avery's explanation. "Elliot isn't the kind of man you think he is. He hates women and kids." "Do you know why he doesn't like kids?" Avery asked casually. "To be honest, I have no idea. I don't want to know either. If he doesn't like them, I just won't have them," Chelsea said, then furrowed her brows and mumbled to herself, "He's actually pretty nice to me. As long as you're happy." Avery gave up trying to change her mind. Everyone had the freedom of choice. What was important was being able to deal with the consequences of those choices. She thought Chelsea was foolish. However, in the eyes of others, her decision to give birth to her and Elliot's children was probably foolish as well. When the food was served, Avery was so hungry that she began to eat right away. Chelsea had a lot on her mind and had lost her appetite. "Are you sure you didn't fall in love with Elliot?" she asked. "I'm sure," Avery answered with a nod. Chelsea could not understand her. "Why? He's capable and good-looking." Avery looked up at her and said, "If I had to choose between you and him, I'd choose you. At least that way she would not get hurt." Chelsea was utterly taken aback by her answer. "Why, are you—" Avery waved her hand in the air and said, "I was just using it as an example. It's fine as long as you get what I mean." Chelsea completely lowered her defenses as Avery suddenly began to look a lot more pleasant to her. She thought of how Avery was the only one in the family that worked to maintain her father's company after his passing. Chelsea could not stop sympathy from welling up within her. "You're still in college, right?" Chelsea asked. Avery took a sip of water, then answered, "I'm graduating next year." I heard about your dad's company. His debt has nothing to do with you since he has passed. You should focus on graduating and living your life," Chelsea advised. "Where are you supposed to find the money to pay off all of your dad's debts? Don't push yourself like this." Avery lowered her gaze and did not respond. Everyone around her was telling her to give up on Tate Industries. $125 million was not a small amount. Even her own mother was asking her to give up. However, Sean was always telling her how revolutionary the company's new product was, and that everything would go upwards from here as long as they got through this obstacle. Avery was constantly battling against her conflicting thoughts. Chelsea paid for lunch when they were almost done eating. As their meal mainly consisted of vegetables, they did not spend much. Therefore, Avery did not insist on paying for the meal. "Give me your number," Chelsea said when she walked over to Avery after paying the bill. "What's the point?" Avery said. "Elliot and I are getting divorced soon, so there'll be no reason for us to meet after that." Chelsea was a little upset about being rejected, but the thought of never seeing Avery again comforted her. "That's true. When that happens, I'll be the only one by Elliot's side," Chelsea said as she shot a glare at Avery before walking away. At 2:30 p.m., Avery met the doctor after receiving all of her reports. The doctor browsed through the reports, then adjusted her glasses and said, "Everything looks good. However, it looks like you're pregnant with fraternal twins." Avery sat frozen in stunned silence. "Do you still want me to get rid of them now?" teased the doctor. "The probability of being pregnant with fraternal twins is about the same as winning the lottery. You basically hit the jackpot." Avery's heart was thumping wildly in her chest. Fraternal twins! She had only ever heard of fraternal twins, but she had never met a pair in real life. "If you do decide to get an abortion, it's best to do it while you're still in your first trimester. The longer you wait, the bigger the risk. It's a cruel thing, both for you and the babies. Right now, your babies are already taking shape inside of you," said the doctor. "Doctor, I'm keeping them. I want to give birth to my babies." At that moment, Avery had finally made up her mind. "Great. Fill up these forms for me, and I'll open up a file for you." It was 4 in the afternoon when Avery emerged from the hospital. Perhaps it was because she had gotten up early and had not taken a nap, but she was on the verge of falling asleep. It was like she was seeing the world through a filter. People, cars, she could see neither of them too clearly. She took a cab back home, went straight to her room, and fell into a deep slumber. It was almost dark out when Avery finally woke up. She sat in a daze on the bed. Both her mind and stomach were empty. She knew she was hungry, but she could not bring herself to move a muscle. Her phone suddenly began to ring, so she picked it up and answered. "Avery, did you contact the names on the list I gave you?" Sean's voice came from the other end of the line. Avery lowered her gaze, took a breath, and said, "I didn't. I'll do it tomorrow." "It's the weekend tomorrow. You shouldn't bother them then. Maybe you can call them now?" Sean said. "Sure," Avery responded. "Do you need me to send you a copy of the list?" Sean asked. "It's fine. I have it here with me," Avery answered. "Remember to try calling some of them tonight. Make sure to sound sincere and, I know. I'm going to have dinner now." "Oh, that's right. Where have you been staying since the repossession of your house?" Avery looked around the guest room she was staying in and said, "I rented a place. Don't worry about me. I'm fine." "Okay, Avery. I'll be waiting for some good news from you." Avery could not taste her dinner. Returning to her room, she began to contact the people on her list. The moment they heard her name, they did not give her a chance to say her piece. They immediately rejected her and hung up. It only took her 20 minutes to make all the calls. All of them had rejected her. Nobody wanted to hear about the new product from Tate Industries. She was defeated before she even had a chance to put in the work. Did she really have to give up? If she did, then Tate Industries would be gone forever. If she did not, then what else could she do to save it? The room suddenly felt heavy and suffocating. Avery threw on a long cardigan and walked out of the room. The living room was empty and the whole house was quiet. She wrapped the cardigan around herself and walked out of the house. The evening wind caressed her hair, making it billow around her face. The coldness of the night pierced her bones. She was strolling aimlessly down the street when a wave of memories suddenly filled her mind. Everyone had seen her as the heiress to Tate Industries who never had a worry in her life. Nobody knew how many cold meals and sick nights she had spent on her own. A black luxury sedan rolled into the neighborhood. It slowed down until it came to a halt. Elliot slowly opened his eyes. From his car window, he saw a woman crouched on the ground underneath the warm glow of the streetlights. She had her arms tightly wrapped around her knees. Avery's shoulders were trembling from her sobs.